Hello, my name is Jeremy Brown, Senior Technical Reviewer for NSF International's Plumbing Program. This webinar is on certification to the Uniform Plumbing Code. This is one of several webinars for plumbing products offered by NSF. In the U.S., state and local plumbing codes regulate plumbing within buildings. The plumbing codes establish what products may be used and how they're to be installed. Most U.S. states adopt one of the two major model plumbing codes. The International Plumbing Code is written by the International Code Council. The Uniform Plumbing Code is written by the International Association of Plumbing and Mechanical Officials. A majority of the states, shaded in gray, primarily use the International Plumbing Code as their model. 14 states, shown primarily in blue, use the Uniform Plumbing Code as their model code. The states shown in white have their own state written codes, not using either of the model plumbing codes. This webinar will focus on the Uniform Plumbing Code. First, although the UPC is established by IAPMO, the code does not require products to be listed by IAPMO. It also does not require products to bear a UPC shield or even a code certification mark. The code does require pipe fittings, traps, fixtures, materials, and devices used in a plumbing system to be listed or labeled by an agency, accredited conformity assessment body, and shall comply with the approved, applicable, recognized standards referenced in the code. In simple terms, all plumbing products shall be listed to the standards referenced in the code. The UPC has a definition of a listing agency: an agency accredited by an independent and authoritative conformity assessment body to operate a material and product listing and labeling system that is accepted by the authority having jurisdiction, and it has to be in the business of listing and labeling. It goes on to say, the system includes initial and ongoing product testing, periodic inspection on current production of listed products, and makes available a published report in which specific information is included that the material or product conforms to the applicable standards and found safe for use in a specified manner. NSF clearly, indisputably, meets the definition of a listing agency within the Uniform Plumbing Code. One of the critical aspects of the definition is that the listing agency be accredited. NSF is accredited by a number of organizations. NSF is accredited by the American National Standards Institute, the Standards Council of Canada, as well as the International Accreditation Service, which is a division of International Code Council. This means that these organizations audit NSF to ensure that we're following international standards for testing, auditing, and certification. So let's dive into what the Uniform Plumbing Code actually requires. Section 301.2.3, plastic pipe fittings, and components other than those for gas shall comply with NSF 14. For most plastic piping related products, there are no additional requirements in the Uniform Plumbing Code that are not already in Standard 14. So for most plastic products, there's nothing more to do than evaluate the product to Standard 14, and it will be compliant with the Uniform Plumbing Code. For potable water products, Section 604.1 says pipe, tube, fittings, solvent cements, thread sealants, solders, flux that are used in a potable water system intended to supply drinking water shall be in accordance with the requirements of NSF 61. Where fittings and valves are made of copper alloys, containing more than 15% zinc and are used in plastic piping systems. They shall be resistant to dezincification and stress corrosion cracking in accordance with NSF 14. Materials for building water piping and building supply pipe shall comply with the applicable requirements in 604.1. Again, NSF would normally evaluate any potable water plumbing product to these standards, and so there's no additional information that's needed to comply with the Uniform Plumbing Code. Here are a couple of examples of products NSF tests and certifies that meet the Uniform Plumbing Code. So the first, shown in the picture, is PVC Schedule 40 pipe listed and labeled as NSF DWV ASTM D2665. This marking indicates that NSF has certified this product to NSF 14 and ASTM D2665. This product is fully compliant with the Uniform Plumbing Code and accepted in jurisdictions using the UPC. PEX tubing, listed and labeled, is another example. It would be labeled as NSF PW, ASTM F876, ASTM F877. That kind of marking would indicate that the product's certified by NSF to Standard 14, to Standard 61, and to the ASTM standards. That product is fully compliant with the Uniform Plumbing Code and accepted in jurisdictions allowing PEX. Now, there are no other product markings that are necessary on the product to demonstrate compliance. Some manufacturers, however, especially sales and marketing people, they like extra assurance of having a code mark in their listing and on the product so that it's clear to everyone that the product is code compliant. So for those companies who want to demonstrate compliance in listing and marking on the product, NSF does offer the NSF UP code mark. And this is an easy thing to do since the testing is already handled by the standards to which NSF is already certifying. And the NSF mark is accepted in all jurisdictions using the Uniform Plumbing Code. If there's ever a question by a jurisdiction of acceptance of the NSF mark, NSF will educate the jurisdiction about the NSF certification program. The NSF has a majority market share of listings in the plastic piping components and also in the drinking water system components. And we've not yet heard of any jurisdictions that are not accepting NSF. Now, there are a few cities and states which have lists of accepted certification organizations for plumbing. NSF is approved in all those jurisdictions. Most notably, the City of Los Angeles is a very well-known jurisdiction with a list of approved certification agencies. NSF is approved by the City of LA and our listings are accepted there. NSF has listed over 200 companies to the Uniform Plumbing Code. This represents over 38,000 products. Many more than this are compliant to the Uniform Plumbing Code, simply by being listed to the applicable standards, and they don't even need the Uniform Plumbing Code mark to demonstrate compliance. NSF does have a regulatory hotline if there are any questions about product acceptance in the field. Or you may contact me at the number shown. Thank you for listening. This concludes our webinar. Please see our other webinar segments for the plumbing industry.